up that pocket change you've got lying around, because I'm about to tell you how a single penny, yes, a penny, could be worth almost $2 million. Sounds crazy, right? But trust me, this isn't a joke. You could have this rare coin sitting in your jar, and it could be your ticket to serious cash. So let me drop this bombshell on you. Today we're talking about the 2009 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. That's right, folks. This tiny little copper disc could be worth a whopping $1.9 million. Now, before you run off to check all your change, I have to say, not all pennies are created equal. But trust me, if you happen to have the lucky one, you're looking at a whole new level of rich. Let's break down why this penny is causing such a stir in the numismatic world, and how it could make you an unexpected millionaire. Okay, let's start with the basics. The 2009 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny was released in honor of Lincoln's 200th birthday. The U.S. Mint designed a series of pennies that year to celebrate the great emancipator. But here's where it gets interesting. Usually, pennies have a mint mark, an D or an S, to show where they were made. But in 2000, well, a penny. A regular old penny. But the moment you find the 2009 no-mint Mark penny, you're talking about a whole penny worth so much. Well, in 2009, the U.S. Mint produced these coins without a mint mark as part of an experiment, but only a few slipped through the cracks. These pennies were never meant to be released to the public, but somehow a handful of them made it out into circulation, which makes them incredibly rare. I know what you're thinking. How do I get my hands on one of these? Well, that's the million-dollar question, literally. The value of the 2009 no-mint Mark penny has skyrocketed. Right now, it could fetch anywhere from $1,500 all the way up to $1.9 million, depending on its condition and whether or not you can find the right buyer. But here's the kicker. You probably won't find one just by rummaging through a bag of change at the supermarket. They're rare for a reason. And trust me, I've learned this the hard way. A few years ago, I thought I found a gold mine in my change jar when I thought I had a rare coin. Turns out, I was just holding on to a 1985 penny with a little bit of dirt on it. I had to laugh at myself, because I'm not saying I could have sold that coin for $1.9 million, but I could barely even get 10 cents for it. Hey, we've all been there. But that's why it's so important to know what you're looking for before you start getting all excited. The 2009 no-mint Mark penny isn't just any coin, it's got to be in really good condition. The more pristine it is, the higher its value. If your penny is covered in scratches, nicks, or worse, well, it's still a cool coin, but not a $1.9 million one. Coins are graded on their condition, with MS 70 being the highest, a perfect, mint-condition coin. If your penny is MS 67 or higher, then you're talking serious cash. So, what should you look for in this coin? First, check for the absence of a mint mark. It's the first clue that you've got something rare on your hands. Now, while this penny is incredibly rare, here's the deal: you might not have one lying around. But that doesn't mean you can't cash in on some other forgotten coins. Remember, the world of rare coins is full of opportunities, and it's all about knowing what to look for. And the best part? You don't need to be a millionaire yet to get started. In fact, every time you check your pocket change, you're getting closer to that gold mine. So, there you have it, your potential $1.9 million penny. While it's not exactly easy to find one of these, it's a reminder that anything could be worth something in the world of coins. All it takes is a little bit of luck, some knowledge, and maybe, just maybe, a good old-fashioned coin hunt. And if you've got that eureka moment when you find one of these rare coins, well, I'll be right here cheering you on. Now, before you go rushing off to check your change jar, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm always dropping new tips, tricks, and insider knowledge on coins worth big bucks. And trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next one. Who knows? You could be the next coin collector millionaire. Keep hunting, and who knows, your next penny might just be the one that changes your life. I'm talking about the 1952 S. Lincoln 1-cent penny. Yeah, the one from almost 75 years ago. And get this, it's currently worth a whopping $1.6 million. I know, I had to double check magnifying glass and let's dive in. Or, just keep your eyes peeled for one of these in your spare change. Who knows? Maybe you're the next big winner. I sure wouldn't mind a penny like that myself. Okay, so before you start raiding your coin jar like it's a treasure chest, let's talk about why this 1952 S. Lincoln penny is worth a staggering $1.6 million. First off, this penny isn't your average run-of-the-mill, just grab it at the store kind of penny. It's got a few key features that set it apart from the rest of the crowd. Now let's break it down. First, the 1952 S penny has that all-important S Mint mark, which stands for the San Francisco Mint. It's one of those rare, little details that make the coin stand out. Most pennies from the 50s were minted in Philadelphia or Denver. But if you find one with that S, especially in fantastic condition, well, that's where the value starts to rise. But wait, there's more. The 1952 S is considered to be a key date in the Lincoln penny series. It's like the unicorn of pennies, rare, elusive, and hard to come by. People like you and me are out there searching through pennies from rolls, coin bags, and flea markets just hoping to spot one. Finding a 1952 S in decent condition can mean big bucks in your pocket. And the cherry on top? It's one of those coins where the more perfect it is, the more it's worth. So, don't be tossing around those pennies with scratches, folks. Trust me, I know from personal experience. I was once at a yard sale. Don't laugh. When I found a bunch of old coins in a dusty box. I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be great. Turns out, I was holding a ton of junk. I mean, nothing was worth more than a few bucks, except one. One little coin, tucked away in the corner, was a 1943 steel penny. I thought, oh cool, maybe it's worth 50 cents or $1. It ended up being worth more than $100. My heart dropped. I almost did a victory dance right in front of the yard sale owner. Lesson learned. Sometimes it's the small, unexpected things that can make you the big winner. Anyway, back to our 1952 S penny. What really bumps up the price is its rarity in uncirculated condition. We're talking about coins with clean surfaces, nowhere on Abraham Lincoln's profile, and those crisp details still shining through. The better the quality, the more you can expect to get when selling it. We're talking hundreds of thousands, or in some rare cases, like the one I mentioned earlier, up to $1.6 million. Think about it. You could walk into a coin shop with a single penny and leave with enough money to buy a decent car. Or heck, you could use it as a down payment on a house. And no, I'm not talking about the price of an old, run-down fixer-upper. I'm talking about something with a view. Just don't go telling the car dealership or real estate agent your plans until you've got the cash in hand. You know how it goes. To make it easier, let me break down how much money you can get depending on the condition of your 1952 S penny. If you've got one in good condition, you might be looking at anywhere between $100 to $400. But if it's in fine or very fine condition, think barely any scratches, clean edges, and that minty fresh shine, you're looking at closer to $1,000. And remember, condition is everything here. Now, the real jackpot comes when you find one that's been kept in uncirculated condition. If you've got a gem that's been well preserved in a safe spot for nearly 75 years, you could be staring down that sweet $1.6 million mark. Of course, it helps to have a professional appraiser check it out, but hey, who's going to stop you from dreaming big? So let me ask you, have you checked your coin jar lately? Have you been walking around with a small fortune in your pocket? Maybe that lucky penny you toss into the wishing well isn't so wishful after all. Before you go on your coin hunting adventure, make sure you know what you're looking for. A penny like the 1952 S isn't something you're going to find in every pocket. But when you do find one, it could change everything. Just remember, take your time, do your research, and keep an eye out for those little details that make all the difference. If you're new to the world of rare coins or just want to get smarter about your collection, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Trust me, there are plenty more coins out there that could make you a millionaire without you even realizing it. And hey, I'll be here to guide you through it all, step by step. So, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and let's keep the coin talk going. Who knows, you might just find your next big windfall sitting right in front of you. I'm about to blow your mind with one coin that actually could make you a millionaire. Stick around, because today we're talking about the 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, valued at a whopping $1.40 million. Yup, you heard that right. Now, before you rush off to check your change jar, let me tell you how this little piece of copper could potentially turn your financial future upside down. But hey, don't get too excited just yet. Let's dive into the juicy details. And I promise it's going to be worth your time. Stay tuned, cause you don't want to miss this. Alright, folks, let's start with the basics. If you're like me, you probably thought, What's the big deal about a 1967 penny? Right. I mean, you've probably seen thousands of them in your lifetime. But this one's different. It's got something very special about it. No mint mark. Now, typically, pennies are stamped with a mint mark, which tells us where the coin was made: Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But in 1967, there was a glitch in the system. Some pennies, like this one, came out of the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark at all. It's like a secret little oops from the U.S. Mint that turned out to be a gold mine for collectors. How crazy is that? Now, I know what you're thinking. So, what? It's just missing a tiny little letter. Who cares? Well, my friend, that missing mint mark is what makes this coin so rare. In fact, only a small number of these no mint mark pennies were ever made. And because of that, they're worth a lot of money. I'm talking $1.4 million here. I mean, imagine you found one of these in your spare change. What would you do? Maybe run out and buy a yacht or pay off your mortgage? Just me? Okay, moving on. Alright, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Why is this penny worth so much? Well, first off, collectors are crazy for errors, and this one's a biggie. The U.S. Mint didn't release many of these no mint mark pennies, and the ones that did survive are incredibly rare. And we all know what happens when something's rare. It gets valuable. It's like finding a rare collectible card in your Pokemon deck. You've got a crowd of people willing to throw big money at it. And if you think I'm exaggerating, let me tell you about a buddy of mine. A few years ago, he found a penny from the 1960s in his pocket change. Now, I wasn't sure if he was pulling my leg, but when he sent it off for grading, it came back as a gem, graded at a solid MS 65. That's a really good grade for a penny, in case you're wondering. He ended up selling it for about $25,000. So yes, pennies can seriously add up. But the 1967 no mint mark? That's a whole other level. But before you grab all your pennies and run to the nearest coin dealer, let me throw some cold water on your dreams. Not all 1967 no mint mark pennies are worth $1 million. There are a few key things to consider, like the condition of the coin and whether it's been properly graded by a reputable service. If your penny is worn out or has been through the ringer, you're probably not going to get a small fortune for it. The ones that fetch big prices are in pristine condition. Now, don't get discouraged. If you've got one of these 1967 no mint mark pennies, it's worth checking out its condition. If it's looking rough around the edges, don't lose hope just yet. Even a worn-out version could be worth something, but the mint condition ones, those are the true treasures. So, in conclusion, the 1967 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is an absolute gem for collectors and could very well be the key to your financial freedom. A coin worth $1.4 million might sound too good to be true, but trust me, it happens. And who knows? Maybe your old jar of pennies could be hiding the next big thing. If you found this info helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you won't miss out on more tips about valuable coins and other hidden treasures. We've got a ton more secrets to share that could change your financial future, one penny at a time. And hey, if you do find a 1967 no-mint mark penny that's worth a fortune, I want to hear all about it. Drop a comment below and let me know what you do with all that cash. We're talking about the 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that's worth more than some houses. By the end of this video, you'll not only be digging through your change with a new perspective, but you'll also know how to spot rare pennies like a pro. And hey, maybe even turn your pocket change into a fortune. So stick around. Alright, let's get into the juicy details. The 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is rare because of a pretty simple mistake. See, typically, the U.S. Mint places a mint mark on coins to show where they were produced: Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But in 1968, something went a little haywire, and a number of pennies came out of the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark. Now, most of us would look at this and say, it's just a penny, right? But here's the twist. Because it wasn't supposed to happen, it's become a major collector's item. People want it. They need it. And here's the kicker. If you find one of these pennies in pristine condition, you could be sitting on a gold mine of $1.70 million. You walk into a coin shop with that penny, and the shop owner's eyes go wide like they've just seen a unicorn. Yeah, that's what happens when they spot a 1968 no-mint mark penny in mint condition. So why exactly is this penny worth so much? Simple. Rarity and demand. Only a handful of these were made, and not many have survived in good condition. Over time, they'd become a sought-after collector's item. Most of the 1968 pennies out there are, well, let's just say they've been through the ringer. They're scratched, scuffed, and barely recognizable as a coin, let alone something worth millions. But the ones that have survived in pristine condition, especially with a sharp, clean design and minimal wear, are extremely valuable. When they're graded highly, like a mint state 67, the price skyrockets, hitting up to that magical $1.7 million mark. And here's where the excitement lies. Finding a coin like that could change your life. Imagine the look on your friends' faces when you tell them you're now a millionaire, all because of a penny. Makes your morning coffee feel a little less expensive, doesn't it? Now, I know what you're thinking. Great, I've got to find one of these magical pennies in my spare change. And you're right, it sounds like a crazy treasure hunt. But here's how you can spot a 1968 no-mint mark penny. This one's easy. Check the date on the penny. It's 1968. If it's another year, well, keep looking. You don't need a time machine for this. Here's the kicker. There won't be a mint mark. If there's a little D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, you've got a regular penny, which might still be cool, but it's not going to make you a millionaire. This is where the real treasure lies. If the penny looks like it's been through an apocalypse, sorry to break it to you, but it's probably not worth more than a few cents. A mint state 67 is ideal, which means it's in excellent shape. No scratches, no tarnish, and a nice, sharp design. Okay, time for a little story. A few years ago, I was going through some old boxes in the attic. Don't we all have one of those? I found a jar full of pennies and thought, why not? Let's look for something rare. I spent hours, seriously hours, sorting through those pennies, hoping for something worth millions. Spoiler alert, I didn't find a $1.7 million penny. I found a couple of shiny 2015s, but number 1968 no mint marks. But here's the kicker, the excitement of the hunt was the best part. There's something about searching for something valuable in the most unexpected places. It's like a mini treasure hunt every time you go through your change. And who knows? One day, I might actually find that $1.7 million penny. If not, at least I've got a ton of stories to tell. Alright, coin collectors and treasure hunters, you've got all the info you need to start searching for that elusive 1968 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. I know it sounds like a long shot, but the thrill of the hunt is half the fun. And if you happen to find one in great condition, well, then congratulations, because you might just have a small fortune in your hands. Before you go running off to sift through your change, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more tips and tricks on how to spot rare coins and how to make some serious cash. Seriously, this stuff is addictive. Once you find one rare coin, you'll never look at your pocket change the same way again. And hey, if you're one of those lucky people who has a 1968 no mint mark penny, or if you find one, don't forget to let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your coin hunting adventures. So until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and who knows, maybe you'll be the next millionaire to join the Coin Collector Club. Crown Money Bag. We're talking about the 1969 Lincoln 1-cent penny, and believe me, this little coin has a big story to tell. So grab your magnifying glass and let's dive into the wild world of rare pennies. Alright, let's set the stage here. The 1969 Lincoln penny might look like your average copper coin. It's from the 1960s, nothing too special, right? Well, think again. This penny's got a feature that makes it not just rare, but so rare that it could be worth a fortune. So, what makes the 1969 penny so valuable? Glad you asked? This coin, if you happen to have one in your collection, may have what's called a double die obverse error. This means the penny was struck twice in the same place, causing a doubled image on the front of Abraham Lincoln's face, the date, and even the lettering. Essentially, you're looking at a coin that was a little too eager to make its mark, and as a result, it's now a true collector's dream. But here's the kicker. This mistake wasn't just a one-off accident. It happened in a few coins, but not many. And that's why those coins with the double die error are gold mines. Well, if gold mines were made of copper and worth $1.8 million, that is. Now let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I found a 1969 penny just like the ones my grandma would give me to play with when I was a kid. Honestly, I thought I hit the jackpot because I found it in the same jar that held my old, worn-out baseball cards. I figured maybe, just maybe, this little guy could be worth a few bucks. After all, we all know that old stuff can be valuable, right? But I was completely wrong. Well, I wasn't completely wrong. I just didn't realize it could be worth nearly $1 million. Turns out, I had no idea what I was looking at. The penny was so shiny and smooth, I figured it was one of those newer ones. So much for being a coin expert. Note to self, don't judge a penny by its shine. Fast forward to now, and I've learned a lot more about the 1969 pennies double die error, and let me tell you, I wouldn't be laughing if I found one today. In fact, I'd probably faint. Who knew a small mistake at the mint could lead to an enormous payout? Here's the fun part. Finding this penny is pretty tricky. The double die isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's subtle. You might need a magnifying glass, or even better, a microscope. Keep an eye out for doubled letters or numbers on the front of the penny. The most obvious giveaways are in the date and liberty. Those parts tend to show the most pronounced doubling. If you spot any, stop what you're doing, take a deep breath, and get ready to call a coin expert because you could have just hit the jackpot. But wait, there's more. The condition of your coin matters too. If your 1969 penny is in mint condition, meaning it's well preserved with little to no wear and tear, that just makes it all the more valuable. Coins with that crisp, fresh look are going to fetch top dollar at auctions. Now I know what you're thinking. Do I have one? Do I have a $1.8 million penny in my collection? Here's the thing. Don't go rushing to your change jar just yet and throw out all your other pennies. Spoiler alert, the 1969 doesn't just automatically become $1 million coin just because you found it in your pocket. But the good news is, there are other pennies out there, along with plenty of other coins, that can bring in some serious dough. So, even if you're not sitting on a gold mine right now, you might just find your future $1 million coin while rummaging through your old change. So, what's the takeaway here? The 1969 Lincoln 1-cent penny with the double die error is a huge find for any serious coin collector. If you've got one of these in your collection, it's time to start celebrating. $1.8 million might just be closer than you think. But if you didn't find one today, don't worry. There are plenty of other coins that could be worth a small fortune, and I'll be here to help you find them. Remember, it's not about having a jar of pennies. It's about knowing which pennies to look for. Keep your eyes peeled and your magnifying glass handy because you never know when you could stumble upon a treasure. If you learned something today and want to keep finding tips and tricks on how to spot coins that are worth big money, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so you're the first to know when I post new videos. I've got more coin secrets coming your way, and you won't want to miss out. Who knows, your next coin could be worth a fortune. We're talking about a penny. Yes, you've heard that right, a penny. That's worth $1.5 million. And no, this isn't some clickbait. I'm talking about the 1971 Lincoln 1-cent penny. Stay tuned. You might just be sitting on a small fortune. Now, you're probably thinking, there's no way a penny from 1971 could be worth that much, right? Well, you'd be surprised. I know I was when I first stumbled across this little gem. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more tips and tricks on finding coins that could make you a millionaire. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for this. So, what's so special about this 1971 penny? I mean, it's just another Lincoln penny, right? Well, yes and no. See, the 1971 Lincoln penny was part of a standard coin release by the U.S. Mint. So, it wasn't initially special. But here's the kicker. It's not about the minting process. It's about the condition and rarity. Now, let's rewind a bit. Have you ever heard of those old-timey stories about finding a rare coin in your change, and suddenly you're rolling in cash? I thought it was just a tale until one day. I was at a local coin shop chatting with a guy who had a perfect 1971 penny. His excitement was contagious. He told me, "This penny's worth a fortune." I had to stop and think, how could this little thing be so valuable? I mean, it's a penny. We drop these things in parking meters and forget about them. So, what gives? The 1971 penny, without a mint mark, is among the rarest of its kind. The U.S. Mint doesn't usually release coins without a mint mark in that year. And guess what? A very small number were made that year without one. If you happen to have one of these mint condition beauties, well, let's just say it could be worth a lot. A mint condition 1971 penny has been valued at a mind-blowing $1.5 million. Can you imagine turning up one of these in your change jar? But wait, I know what you're thinking. I'll just check my change jar. Sure, you can do that. But here's a heads up. This isn't exactly a common find. So don't go tossing your pennies around like you're searching for treasure. While it's exciting to think you've got a potential windfall, finding one of these coins isn't exactly easy. You need to look for specific traits, like the lack of a mint mark, of course, and even then, it has to be in near perfect condition to really skyrocket in value. So, when you're inspecting your pennies, make sure to check for that little detail. The mint mark, or lack thereof, is a game changer. And while it might not be the most exciting hunt for some. Believe me, this could be your golden ticket to the world of rare coin collecting. You ever have one of those moments where you find something you didn't even know you had? I was cleaning out my drawer the other day, no kidding, and I found a stack of old coins I had forgotten about. I didn't think much of it until I came across a shiny, perfect 1971 penny. It looked just like the one I'd seen in the shop, and for a split second, my heart skipped a beat. Then, reality hit. It was just your standard penny, with a mint mark. But hey, it made me check out my entire coin collection just in case. That's a tip for you. Always double check, because sometimes your junk drawer is hiding gold. But really, if you have that rare 1971 no mint mark penny and it's in mint condition, don't just sit there staring at it. You've got something that could make you a nice little chunk of change if you find the right buyer. Let me tell you, the market for rare coins is hot right now. A little copper coin that could be worth $1.5 million. It's not just a lucky find, it's a serious collector's dream. But here's the thing, this coin is rare, and it's not going to pop up in your wallet every day. However, if you do find one, you've got a real treasure on your hands. And don't forget, a coin's value can skyrocket depending on its condition. So, be on the lookout for those pristine pennies. Take a moment to go through your change jar or coin collection and see if you've got any hidden gems. And when you find that shiny, no mint mark 1971 penny, or any other rare coin, remember that you could be sitting on something worth millions. And imagine the look on your face when you realize you've just uncovered a small fortune. Before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. I've got tons more tips on rare coins worth a fortune, and I wouldn't want you to miss out. After all, who knows? The next coin you find could be the next big jackpot. See you in the next video. We're talking about the 1978 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, and its current market value is a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Yup, you heard that right. A penny. The penny. It's worth more than most of us will ever make in our lifetime. But of course, not just any penny. We're talking about the 1978 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. And I've got all the info you need to spot it, save it, and maybe even make a small fortune. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because you won't want to miss out on more tips, tricks, and insider coin secrets that could make you some serious cash. Alright, let's get into it. So, what makes this penny so special that it could be worth over $1.4 million? It's all about a simple, yet incredibly rare, mistake. The 1978 penny was minted in Philadelphia, and like most coins from Philly, it should have had a mint mark, that little D or S or P. That tells you where the coin was made. But this one, well, it just didn't have any mint mark at all. It's as if the coin decided it wanted it to be a rebellious little penny. Like that kid in school who never did their homework and still somehow got the highest grades. Now, these no mint mark coins are incredibly rare, and this rarity, combined with their historical significance, makes them so valuable. The 1978 no mint mark penny is one of those rare finds that not many people even know about, so spotting one could have you sitting on a small fortune. Okay, now you're probably thinking, alright, how do I find one of these bad boys in my own change? Well, first off, don't just start raiding your couch cushions. As tempting as that sounds, you're not likely to find one there. So here's what you need to know. The penny has to be from 1978. Sounds obvious, right? But you'd be surprised at how many people overlook this detail. Grab that magnifying glass, or heck, even just squint really hard, and check that date. This is the big one. Most coins from 1978 have a small D mint mark for Denver, or are just unmarked for the Philadelphia Mint. But the rare ones, the ones that will make you rich, are the ones that have no mint mark at all. It's like a coin version of Where's Waldo? But with way bigger rewards. Of course, as with any rare coin, condition is key. A penny in mint condition is worth way more than one that's been run over by a truck or used as a chew toy by your dog. If your 1978 no mint mark penny looks like it's been through a washing machine or spent a few years in a jar of loose change, it might not get you $1.4 million, but it's still worth holding on to. Now, let me tell you a quick story from my own life. A few years ago, I found a coin in my change that looked a little different, kind of shiny, kind of off. My first instinct was to toss it back into my coin jar and forget about it. But something told me to hang on to it for a bit, so I did. Fast forward a few weeks, and I started researching it. Turns out, I had stumbled across a coin from the early 1900s that was worth a couple $100. Now, I'm not saying I've got $1 million coin on me, but it goes to show, you never know what you might have lying around in your spare change. So, moral of the story? Always double check your pennies. That's how most of the big dollar finds happen. And if you ever happen to find a 1978 no mint mark penny, consider yourself lucky. You could be staring at the most valuable penny of your life. What's the current market value? So, how much exactly is this rare penny worth? Well, as of today, the value of a 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny in mint condition can reach up to $1.4 million. Crazy, right? I know. And the thing is, the value of these coins has been steadily increasing because they're so scarce. There aren't many of them out there, and the ones that do exist in good condition are highly sought after by collectors and investors. Now, not every 1978 no mint mark penny will fetch that kind of money. It's all about the condition, the rarity, and whether someone's willing to pay for it. But even a less than perfect example can still be worth several $1,000s. So if you find one of these in your spare change, don't just toss it into your collection of other random pennies. You might want to get it appraised before you let it slip through your fingers. So there you have it, folks. The 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is a rare gem. And if you happen to find one, you could be holding on to a small fortune. But remember, it's not just about the coin. It's about knowing what to look for, having the patience to hunt, and being a little lucky along the way. Now, if you're feeling inspired and want to learn more about coins that could be worth big bucks, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and coin hunting strategies that could help you turn your spare change into serious cash. Who knows? Your next trip to the bank or the corner store could lead to the next big find. We're talking about the 1979 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny. And let me tell you, it's not your average change. Stick around because this little guy could be worth, drumroll please, $1.7 million. That's right, $1.7 million. And no, I'm not pulling your leg or your penny. Let's dive into why this coin is one for the ages. So, how does a simple penny become worth a small fortune? Let's rewind to 1979. The world was a different place. The disco era was still going strong. Mullets were cool. Well, some people thought they were. And the economy was rolling along. But hidden among those pennies, some of them, just a few, slipped through the cracks and became extraordinarily rare. Now, the key to this penny's value? It all comes down to one simple thing: minting errors. You see, back in 1979, a small number of Lincoln pennies were struck with some unique characteristics that made them stand out. The D-mint mark, located on the reverse side of the coin, was either misaligned or missing on a batch of coins that came from the Denver Mint. These era coins are incredibly rare, which makes them extremely valuable today. Cut to a graphic of the coin's minting error, showing a normal penny and one with the missing or misaligned D-mint mark. Now, let's get nerdy for a second. Normally, these mint marks are stamped onto the coin at the Denver Mint, telling you exactly where it came from. But in this case, a small mistake was made, and that tiny D either didn't appear where it should have, or the design was slightly off. It's like that time I tried to make a pizza and forgot to put in the cheese. So instead of a delicious cheesy masterpiece, I had a flat, sad dough dish that only my dog would eat. But sometimes, mistakes can turn into treasure, as we see here. Anyway, it's not just any era penny we're talking about. These 1979 D pennies are some of the best examples of how a small slip-up can turn a common coin into a multi-million-dollar gem. And what's even crazier, it wasn't until years later that people started to realize how valuable these era coins could be. Now, here's where it gets exciting. You could have a 1979 D penny in your coin jar right now. Yes, the one you've been tossing in there for years thinking it's just another random coin. But if you happen to have the rare minting era version, that penny could fetch up to $1.7 million today. Yep. Million. I know. You're probably thinking, How the heck would I even know if my penny is worth this much? Well, here's a quick way to tell. Grab your penny, and if the D mint mark is either missing or misaligned, then you've got yourself a treasure. Check it closely with a magnifying glass or get an expert to take a look. But don't go running to the pawn shop just yet. Some of these pennies may be worth more than others, depending on their condition, rarity, and where they're sold. Let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was at a yard sale, and I saw a jar of loose change. Nothing special, right? I almost passed it up. But then, something told me to take a closer look. As I dug through it, I found a 1979 D penny, and I thought, nah, this can't be the one. But I kept it. For months, it sat in a drawer collecting dust, until one day I pulled it out, Googled it, and BM, I realized it had a minting error. It wasn't just a regular penny, it was an error penny. And it could be worth thousands. To this day, I kick myself for not getting it appraised sooner. Moral of the story? Always check your change, folks. It pays. Literally. So, while your regular 1979 D penny is probably worth about a penny, there's always a chance you've got that rare gem hiding in plain sight. And hey, even if it's not worth millions, at least you've learned something today, right? Alright, coin lovers, here's the bottom line. The 1979 D mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, if you're lucky enough to find the rare minting error, could be worth a whopping $1.7 million. That's a lot of pennies. But you've got to know what to look for and, more importantly, know where to sell it. Whether you're new to collecting or a seasoned expert, always be on the lookout for those valuable coins hiding in your change. Who knows? The next treasure could be in your pocket. So, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget